Kelly, thank you. Every Sunday, Pat Sullivan from Sullivan Hardware and Garden gives us great advice for do-it-yourself home improvements. Today, he talks about how to keep the cold air out of your house and safety tips when using space heaters and extension cords.
You know, in the fall, we talk a lot about how to weatherproof your house on the outside. Well, you know, it's not too late to do a few things on the inside. Yes, I know it's January and I know you're depressed, but stand under a light and then we can get busy. Now, this is, if you have a house, this is actually our gift shop. This is a 100-year-old house. The old single pane windows, they're the absolute worst. I can just put my hand up and feel the air coming in. So there's something pretty simple, and it's almost cheesy looking, but it's the shrink film. I mean, everybody thinks like this is just a insulating kit. I mean, look how thin, there's hardly anything to it. This is the double stick tape, and all you do is you just put it around the outside and you create that gap in between these single pane glass and then this. So, I mean, it's so simple, but people look at it and think, oh, I don't want to do that, that's a little cheesy, but it's not bad. Now, I've stretched a piece on this wooden frame, and you literally put the double stick tape, you see how wrinkled and how bad it looks. But once you start putting the heat to it, and I don't know if you can see that, but it starts to pull all of the wrinkles out of it. And when you trim this thing up, you virtually cannot tell that is even on there. Look at that. It's beautiful. And you know what? It's going to save a ton of money on your electric or your heat bill, whatever it is, and it's going to keep you a lot warmer. So if you have older windows or just leaky windows, think about these kits. And you can even get them for patio doors, because that's another big one that leaks. So if you can not use the door in the winter and just put a shrink film over the top, awesome. Now, maybe you just have, this is a, you don't want to start putting a bunch of caulking on the inside. This is seal and peel. You actually put a little bead in areas where it's leaking, and then in the spring, you just kind of get it and it just pulls right back off. Not a bad item. I mean, it's been around for years and years. All right, so another little thing you can do inside. This is behind all the wall outlets on the outside walls. You can put a foam liner in there. That'll stop some of that air coming out of the wall cavity that kind of sneaks out of there, so that you get little kits of them. It's not a big deal, but it gives you something to do, and you can save a little money. So not bad at all. Now, electric heaters is something else that I know people always, they have those little cold spots in their house, and you have to be so careful with heaters. So here's the thing about electric heaters. All electric heaters that are plugged into the wall produce about the same BTUs. You get about 5,000, 5,200 BTUs. So whether it's a $30 heater or a $100 heater, it's really all about how that heater circulates the heat around the room. But other than that, it's not like one is small and one, it's the same amount of heat. That much electricity produces 5,200 BTUs. So follow all the safety. You don't want flammables being able to lay on it. Make sure you get a good quality one, has a tip over switch on it. The extension cord's the big thing. Don't use them. Don't use extension cords. But here's a little mistake people do make, and I know that I'm going to show this to you. These two extension cords, well, someone will go, well, this is a household one and this is heavy duty. No, these are exactly the same. These are 16 gauge cords. There's no difference in those. So one or the other, they're both bad. You don't want to use them. You know what I don't recommend, because you should plug a heater directly into the wall, but using a heavy duty 14 gauge or 12 gauge cord, which is the same gauge of wire that's actually inside the wall, that's the only way to do it. And even then, only if you absolutely have to. Never leave it unattended. Shut them off. Like I say, just be careful. Make sure you have your smoke detectors, your carbon monoxide detectors. So you want to save a little money, but we also want to be safe.